Good morning. This is Brian Rushi, Master's Candidate at Colorado Christian University. This presentation is the final presentation for LED 518. It's entitled Reflections on Social Media, Personal Case Study. This is in preparation for the final paper as well for this course. So at the beginning of this course, I admittedly use very little social media. I was definitely a consumer rather than a producer. Learned about the danger of this, if you will, from Clay Shirky's TED Talk, talking about how social media can become openness without participation. It's really a means of one-way communication and has turned into, in some ways, a new means to argue with each other. My goal in this course, or the topic that I was going to speak about, was economic inequality. And I think you can see on some of my posts that I would forward things about economic inequality. That was what I wanted to focus on in this course. So to me, there were 3 C's of learning in this course, in addition to the C for consumer, and that's content, context, and character. And so I'll speak a bit about content. We learned about credible knowledge, how to identify what knowledge is credible and what is not. The test, one of the tests for the sources that we learned about was currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. Identifying these elements within sources that we would use to further our argument. We also learned about conflicting information and the challenge of fake news, including a video from a gentleman who intentionally produced fake news. That was his entire career. So there is intentional disruption. There is fake news out there. The challenge then is to identify what's what. The context, I believe, is very important. The context of this information. How do I build my social network was a question. Facebook, using friends of friends. I did start a YouTube channel, which is a first for me. Had a YouTube channel, again, a consumer rather than a producer. Now I'm a producer of YouTube videos. Looking also at areas of existing influence within the real world, some organizations that I belong to and people that I know personally through those organizations who are also on social media, using that to spread my network. Another question is, how do I impart meaning using social media? One of the ways that I found helpful to impart meaning using social media was the TED Ed platform, where we did a video and then create a lesson for people to participate in and to spur further discussion. While there was not a ton of discussion on that, I think it's a great platform and I would hope to use that in the future. Also, writing with an empathetic perspective. This was lesson 5. I did a piece that you'll see on my Facebook page that has generated a lot of comments, writing as if I was experiencing homelessness, which is related to economic inequality. Has generated a lot of questions, comments, and concern. And I think it was a good example of how writing from an empathetic perspective can generate a lot of feedback. Lastly, I want to talk about character. Summarize 3 elements of character: authenticity, honesty, and openness with the following verses. Authenticity, Psalm 52:10, create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit in me. This is my Lectio Divina text. Honesty, Ephesians 4:25, therefore each of you must put off falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor, for we are all members of one body. Openness, 2 Corinthians 8, verse 7. But just as you excel in everything, this is the Apostle Paul speaking, in faith, in speech, in knowledge, in complete earnestness, and in your love for us, see that you also excel in this grace of giving of that knowledge, giving of your speech, giving of your time. So, quick summary. I am pursuing this master's in organizational leadership. in part to share and apply knowledge, not out of my own selfish ambition, but in considering others better than myself. This was admittedly a bit of a challenging class, but one that I think has opened my eyes to a new way of speaking and disseminating knowledge. And I hope to be able to use what I've learned in the future. Thank you for watching my videos, and I hope to be making more in the future. Thanks again.